नमस्कार, हेलो। द आर्टल्यान्ड पडकास्ट सुनेर बसिरहनु भएको समस्त दर्शकवृन्दलाई म रसिक छेत्रीको तर्फबाट नमस्कार। र यो संवाद श्रृङ्खला बातचित हामीले अहिलेसम्म धेरैवटा अतिथिसँग गरिसकेको छौँ र उहाँहरूले आफ्नो धेरैवटा एक्सपिरियन्सेसहरू, लाइफको धेरै कुराहरू हामीसँग सेयर गरिसक्नु भएको छ। र त्यसैको श्रृङ्खलामा आज हामीले एउटा स्पेसल गेस्टलाई आज यहाँ निमन्त्रणा गरेको छौँ, जसले हाम्रो यो दार्जिलिङ भेगमा मात्र नभएर उहाँको नाम, हाम्रो नाम, यो हाम्रो जातिको नाम उहाँले सारा भारतमा फैलाउनु भएको छ आफ्नो कतिवटा धेरै स्किल्सको बारेमा, जुन चाहिँ हामी बात गर्न गइरहेको छौँ। र आज हामी तपाईँहरूको समक्ष यहाँ आमन्त्रण गरिरहेको छौँ हाम्रो मास्टर सेफ साथसाथै अन्टरप्रेनर मिस्टर महेन्द्र सिंह थुलुङज्यूलाई आजको हाम्रो यो कार्यक्रममा धेरै स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छौँ।
Hello guys, my name is Mahendra and I'm an entrepreneur and a chef by profession. I'm from Darjeeling, Sunada. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
सो महेन्द्रजी, तपाईँलाई यस कार्यक्रममा धेरै स्वागत छ।
Thank you.
अब if I have to give your introduction, then it would be a very long one, very lengthy one, and it would not be authentic one also. So we would like to listen from you regarding yourself. So तपाईँको बारेमा तपाईँले नै केही भनिदिनुहोस् भन्ने म आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु।
So hi guys, my name is Chef Mahendra. I've spent my childhood in Sunada and I've studied in Kurseong till class 12. त्यसपछि चाहिँ I went to Salesian College for first year. But over a period of time, I realized that college is actually not my thing. I wanted to do something with my career. So I literally fought with my mom. And then I shifted to Kolkata. It was a huge struggle for first year. That was in 2007. And that was the time when I had taken few cash from my mom, but it got over in a month. And then the struggle started. And I was literally looking for a job from one door to another door, and I was just like knocking. That there was no such thing called internet and all, right? We just had a phone, and that became a huge challenging. And I used to travel, and I had very limited money, and I had to like travel via bus for an hours and hours and search from one place to another, from another to another. So I used to spend the whole day. It took me a month to get a job because at that point of time, because I came from a school where Jani Ramro, mostly we used to talk in Nepali, and we were not fluent in English those days. And they always told me, you need to improve on your MTI, you need to work out on your English. So I didn't know what to do. And then people told me that you need to read newspapers, you need to start talking to yourself in English, and whenever you're looking to the mirror, talk with yourself in English. Then I started practicing. And over a period of time, I started working in a small call centers too, because it was easy to get those typical cliche call centers. It was just like a one room. You go and take calls and they will teach you what you need to do. Then what I started working on, but I wanted to work in a bigger call centers like those days was HSBC, Wipro. Those were a thing those days to work in a call center. And I started working on my English then. And then after a year, back in 2007 ko end ma I got in Wipro. Then I felt, oh my God, there were so many people. Out of 100, we got 20 of us were selected. And I felt like, oh, finally I got it. And then my target shifted to something else. From Wipro, I worked in Wipro for good 3 years. Then again, my career changed from where I wanted to work in a call center. Then I had a dream of working in the aviation. Now, in order to get into aviation, that again, you need to have good English. You need to be more confident because you are now dealing with the people who are richest who are like most of them are like celebrities and top richest Indians that you have to deal with on a daily basis. So they want a guy like a cabin crew who are more confident, who can talk, who knows how to talk, who knows how to eat well. So they put out your terms and conditions, and I really need to work on that. त्यो पछि चाहिँ जब विप्रोमा 3 सालमा पुरा एक्सपिरियन्स लिएर देन आई जोइन्ड जेट एयरवेज।
त्यति बेलाको टाइममा जब तपाईँले when you started है जसरी तपाईँले कल सेन्टरबाट स्टार्ट गर्नुभयो जब कल सेन्टरमा पस्दाखेरि पनि जति पनि हामीले हाम्रो दर्शकवृन्दले सुनिरहनु भएको छ कि वेन एभर वी गो फर एनी जब वान अफ द मोस्ट प्रोमिनेन्ट थिङ वी अलवेज फाइन्ड इज द्याट आवर ल्याङ्ग्वेज सुड बी गुड अदरवाइज see if we don't have a good communication skills because this is a skill itself, so if we don't have a proper communication skill then we always face problem everywhere, and that is what like we learned from this your career.
It was like a big challenging because mo madhyamik school padeko haina, and zero English was zero, and then like coming from that background and switching to another one, and it became really challenging, and I really used to have a notebook, ki dictionary or notebook. Those days Googles were not an option for us. Google dictionary was an option those days, you know. On the I didn't want it to get into like a complete of like I make a grammatical errors when I'm writing it down, you know, but I wanted to improve my fluency, at least when I'm talking to people, that people can understand what I'm talking. And my vocab is still not that great, but at least I know that I know how to talk in English.
At least you can communicate.
I can communicate well. But over a period of time when I went in Jet Airways, that was one of the thing. But it's not only about communication skills. It's about how smart are you and how you can tackle the situations. That was the most important factor that when I joined Jet Airways, they were looking for, like, how smart are you? Because generally what happens is like you know how to speak well, but you're not smart.
Yeah, true.
That makes a lot of difference. So if you're smart and if you know how to speak, if you know how to handle the situations, that is like a win-win situation for your career. But you can speak well, but there's the line where you are not aware of few things, because that comes with your experience, Nita. किनभने मैले कल सेन्टरबाट 3 साल जस्तो एक्सपिरियन्स लिएँ, because I had met so many peoples with different characters. There are people who are mean, there are people who are kind, there are different kind of peoples that you are dealing with in a daily situations, and these are the situations that you have to deal with, and they will put you in such situations that ke timile jab interview ko time pa कि how do you handle this kind of situations, and those are the customers that you have to deal with on a daily basis. So त्यस्तो गरेर सिचुएसन्सहरू दिन्थ्यो. तब चाहिँ अब अलिकति भए पनि एक्सपिरियन्स थियो पासमा 3 yearsमा, because especially coming working in Wipro was another a big thing, because there were so many people from a different places with a different cultures coming from हुन्छ नि. अब कोही थियो ओडिसाको, there were some of them were Bengalis, not everybody was Nepali over there नि त. So it became a huge challenging those days, and that became an experience for me.
Yeah, then that is like, you know, blessings in disguise.
Yeah. That really became an experience for me. And then when I went in Jet Airways for an interview in over here, it became easier for me to answer what they want to hear. So basically, तिमी जब पनि जान्छौ नि इन्टरभ्यूमा, whenever you go to interview, people think that I would want to say what I feel like, but it doesn't work that way. You have to tell them what they want to hear, not what you want to tell. So when I was going to Jet Airways, I started flaunting about Jet Airways. I was like, this is the one of the most renowned airline industry in the world. I really want to be a part of it. But that was not the case. I really wanted to earn money, and I wanted to be into that, because it was a too glamorous job for me then. It was a glamorous job then. But when I actually went into Jet Airways, it was not glamorous at all. It was totally different.
Yeah, whenever we see in social media also, अहिले पनि जति पनि हामीले केबिन क्रू हेऱ्यौँ या any of the airline industry, whenever we see, because it becomes a dream for everyone. Every single girl भनौँ या हाम्रो boysहरू जति पनि हुनुहुन्छ, everybody wants to go for airlines itself. And I think because of that glamour, normally what we have a habit is that we always see greener side only, but remaining all struggles are there, etc. Things are there, no? That is what is not discussed much, and I think in today's podcast, like, we should be highlighting on that part also, like, why. The reason is because whenever we think about any success, it is always connected with many failures,
totally.
Many struggles also, and many setbacks. So I think if you फोकस अन द्याट पार्ट अल्सो, त्यसले चाहिँ हामीलाई के दिनुसक्छ भने एउटा इन्सपिरेसन या एउटा लर्निङ पनि दिनुसक्छ कि लाइफमा हामीले कुनै पनि कुरा अचिभ गर्नुपर्छ भने चाहिँ वी सुड बी अलवेज बी लाइक फोकसिङ अन हार्ड वर्क अल्सो। त्यो चाहिँ मलाई लाग्यो कि अनि तपाईँको बिकज यो जर्नी इज भेरी एक्साइटिङ गोइङ फ्रम कल सेन्टर टु दि एयरलाइन्स एन्ड देन बिकमिङ एन अन्टरप्रेनर अब हामीले चाहिँ जहिले पनि करियर भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले के सोच्छौँ भने वेन एभर वी थिङ्क अबाउट करियर कि एउटै पाथ हुनुपर्छ। लाइक इक्जाम्पल, इफ यु आर इन अ टिचिङ देन यु सुड अलवेज बी इन अ टिचिङ फिल्ड एन्ड यु बिकम अ टिचर। इफ यु वान्ट टु बिकम समथिङ देन इफ यु जस्ट पिकअप वान लाइन एन्ड किप गोइङ, त्यति बेला चाहिँ अब सबैले सम्झिन्छ नि यो चाहिँ करियर ठुलो अब दे आर सक्सेसफुल भनेर। बट आई थिङ्क करियर डजन्ट मिन द्याट वान होला है। लाइक
so what happens is like when you are grown up, like there's a mindset where your teacher and your family put into your head that you have to be a doctor, you have to be a police, or we don't have a choice. They have already made a choice for us. These are the only things that you need to get into it, you know. So we thought that is what it is. So initially when I started my school days, I used to choreograph dance. Okay. And passion was never considered as your career. So my family used to tell me on my face कि बुढो भएर डान्स गर्ने थोडी न हो, त्यसले पैसा कमाउने थोडी न, you have to think about your permanent. So like here, especially coming from our hometown, people have the mindset of like a government job is a thing. At least, even if you're not becoming a doctor or you're not becoming a police or anything else, you are at least, you have a settled job, which is a government job. Oh, he's got a SBI. Hey, boy, isko ta abo career settle boy. What else do you need? But that's like a comfort job. Like that's like a total comfort job that you have, you know, which I don't want it in my life. And ke boy banda kheri ab I started like shifting my career. I started changing my career over a period of time from one call center to another call center. Then I went to Jetaways. Then I became an entrepreneur. Then I became a chef, right? And then I realized my passion over a period of time. Then I understood that I can turn my passion into a career, provided if you have an experience. But if you are right now only because you are not having an experience how to run the show, you timi 18 वर्षमै तिमीले काम सक्यौ, you over your college. Now you cannot say that I want to go through my passion, I want to do something else. You really need to have a guts to do that. But if you have an experience and if you're following your passion at the same time, it is easier to go up. But like for me also it became a challenging because when I started a restaurant I didn't have an experience. But at least I have an experience of corporate world. How does it function? I know corporate world कसरी हुन्छ, how does an employee कसरी आउँछ कसरी जान्छ, what are the things that you need to take care of when you're hiring an employee, because I was also hired once upon a time by an HR. So these are the things that we can keep in. But when you are just out of your college or school and you want to go directly to your passion, तिमीले passionलाई career बनाउँछ, it will become a very challenging for us because you don't have any experience. How does an office or a business function? Yeah. So you really need to have an experience. You really need to work somewhere to get an experience. Like how and you should not change your job again because you would not know. So you need to at least stick to one job for at least minimum of 3 years or 2 years to understand how the corporate industry works, or any industry. In fact, business is business. Whether you are into the corporate or whether you are into restaurant or whether you are into aviation, at the end of the day, business is business. Employees are employees. There are hierarchies. You have to follow that hierarchies. But you don't even know the meaning of hierarchies. How would you even go through your passion and you can start something of your own when you are a lack of experience, you know? So I took this as an experience and I wanted to learn how this became an experience actually. Call center, then aviation. Then I decided, okay, I think I can do something and I can follow what they are doing. So now when it's like almost 17 years of my work, now I know like there are things how you really need to function your business. त्यो गरेर चाहिँ पुरा एक्सपिरियन्स भयो.
So can you tell us more about your business journey?
So basically when I finished my Jetaways मा अलिकति सेभिङ्स थियो होइन, and I decided to do a partnership with my colleague, and she was from Kalimpong. So we said, okay, let's do it. But we have zero idea how does a restaurant functions. We have zero idea, literally zero. We thought that, okay, chalo, okay, re, menu बनाइदिनु पर्छ, chef hire गर्नु पर्छ, यो license हरू हाल्नु पर्छ, then we'll run the show. So we thought, let's do it. So it took a lot of time to search for the place, to understand how does it work. Then now you are opening somewhere not in your city. You are in a total different city, which is in Chennai, down south. कहाँ माथि कहाँ तल होइन. And then it became so challenging. But the best part was it, like I knew how to talk to people. I knew how to make a social contact and all त्यति बेला. So I had few friends when I was in Jetaways. Those days, how I used to make contacts is because I used to party a lot. So Jetaways became little a glam job, and everything about then was about only partying. Very party garyo, maja garyo. Then you come back to work. There's no responsibility then, because you just have to do your job. On the त्यो गर्दाखेरि then I started making social contacts when I was partying, because we used to party everywhere. And then how I started making a local friends over there. And that's how I started making contacts, and I thought, let's make use of contacts. And then we got hold of somebody to give us the license and all that. So it became benefit for my partner. So she has zero idea about it. But I thought, because she was a very good friend of mine, so why not give her a chance, because she also wanted to do something with her career. So I said, okay, let's do it. Then we opened a restaurant. Okay, my restaurant name was Dal Lake. I wanted to do my own thing, like, because what I believed was, like, I used to crave for my home food. Chowmin, momo, aloo, all these things I used to crave for, and I never used to get it. And I was tired of cooking. And every day, then I decided, okay, let's do it. Let's open a restaurant. So my friend suggested me, ki, why don't you open a sandwich store and like a Subway kind of thing. It's like, चल्दैन त्यो हौडेसमा कसले गरिबस्छ sandwich बनाउँदै बेच्नु होइन. So I thought, होइन, मोमो चाउमिन नै खानुपर्छ, because I always crave for that, and there was not even one single outlet in the city that I can go and have momos and chowmin. So I thought I can capitalize the market. So that became a strike. No, I can capitalize the market right now. This is the only opportunity. If I do it, I can attract, at least, even if I cannot target the whole South Indian crowd, but there are so many North Indian and the Northeast crowd that I can pull it out. So I did, and it did work. But we didn't know how to manage anything. So we hired a staff, we hired some chef, and the saddest part was that we hired people from our hometown only. Matlab, not from here, but from Kalimpong and rest of the city. So we had that attitude is like, yo kha khaina bhane ja, this is what it is. But that doesn't work in the city. So यहाँ पे के छ भने, तिमीले जस्तो बनाएर दिँदैछ, when you go to here in any of the restaurant, what you do, यो त मिठो भएन रहेछ भन्ने तिमीले भन्नु सक्दैन नि त. Why? Because you know that they will not take the feedback. It's just like, खान्छ खाऊ, खाएन भने भाडमा जाऊ. But that doesn't work in there. But my staff had that mentality. Ki, the incident was, I'll tell you, they made aloo dum was dodeko, first of all. Secondly, aloo dum was full jol, pani. And third thing was, aloo dum was kacho. Now customer is complaining over there, first of all, it's burnt. Second, it's very watery. And third thing, your aloo is like completely raw. It's like, I can taste the raw aloo. It's like, nahi, pakena etika diyo, ab khanos na chupa lagera. That was the attitude then. I was just like, I really didn't know what to say. This doesn't work. You have to make a new thing. And that guy who told was like a very close, what do you say? Like, हाम्रै त्यो चिना जाना थियो, यहाँकै त्यो सुनादा कता पर त्यो रातो भनेको थियो, and he gave that answer, and I could not take it. That this doesn't work like that. This is not your Darjeeling or anything. This is something people are paying for they want justifications if it's raw and all. People wouldn't take it, na. यहाँ पो त चुपालाई आलुको मिठो छैन रहेछ भने के गर्छ, हामीले छोडेर जान्छ. We forget about it, no? But that people don't leave it. People will give you reviews. People will do so many things. Then became a challenging for me. Ego issues, lot of ego issues. Then we had to shut down our restaurant because of the attitude of the employees. Then employees, most of the employees were hired by my partner, so they kind of manipulated her and stated that I am the villain over in the field and he doesn't let us work properly. But she didn't never understood that I was actually taking care of the business. But she was so much in the favor of the staff. Staff can be changed any day, right?
Yes.
She was so much worried that we cannot get the staff. But the most thing was like, staff can be changed, but you cannot change your restaurant. भोलिको दिनमा तिम्रो रेस्टुरेन्ट डुब्यो भने you are over with the money. But she did not think about that. She was only much worried about money. She got so much manipulated by the staff that she actually went against me. So that became another challenge. I was already having a challenge with my staff, and I was facing again another challenge with my partner. And so many things was going on. It was bizarre. Nothing was coming into the table properly. Then I decided I have to do something.
Yeah, because being an entrepreneur itself, हामीले के सोच्छौँ भने being an employee, you have certain responsibilities, but being an entrepreneur itself, we have thousands of responsibilities come together, and that also like whenever we see, especially हाम्रो मान्छेहरूले धेरै काम राम्रो गर्नुहुन्छ, they are talented, तर जतिजना पनि अब हाम्रो जति पनि स्किल्ड वर्कर्स हुनुहुन्छ, जतिजना पनि क्राफ्टम्यानसिपमा हुनुहुन्छ नि, everywhere normally we find, majority of them we find that there is lack of professionalism. त्यसले गर्दा नै आई थिङ्क हाम्रो जति पनि यहाँ करियर क्रिएट गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ भाइ बहिनीहरूले, उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ द्याट मेसेज सुड बी अलवेज बी गिभन द्याट यु सुड बी भेरी प्रोफेसनल वेन यु आर डुइङ है. अब हामीले चाहिँ जहिले पनि सोच्छौँ कि हामी यो एउटा सानो जग्गामा बसेको हुन्छौँ, हामीले धेरै कुरा जानेको हुन्छौँ, हाम्रो फिडब्याक त्यति स्ट्रङली हामीले त्यो फिडब्याकलाई लिनु सक्दैनौँ. तर वेन एभर वी गो आउटसाइड एन्ड वर्क नि, त्यति बेला जुन चाहिँ फिडब्याक वी गेट, समटाइम्स इट रियली ब्रेक्स अस, बट द्याट इज वेयर वी सुड बी लाइक भेरी प्रोफेसनल. नो, द्याट इज समथिङ आवर maybe our upcoming generation or our upcoming professionals has to learn. Is what is required.
So basically what happens is like you need to know a difference between like professionalism, which people lacks a lot, and that became an issue. Professionalism and personal thing, it's a two different.
Yes.
Right? It's a two different thing. So you really need to understand what is professionalism first, then you need to understand what is personal. So what we do is like we get into people's personal thing faster than being more professional. So that is one you really need to have a boundaries over there, because just because you think that you're coming from a town where we know whose family is what, who is doing what is your age, what is your name, what is your caste, that is something very personal which people don't take it these days. So I have faced the challenges. People over here, there are a few people which I meet and they introduce me to me. Instead of asking my name, first of all they say, what is your caste, what is timo jat ke ho? It's like, you don't want to know my name, you want to know my caste first.
Yes.
That is too personal to me. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's none of your business. Because even if I tell you my caste is what are you going to do with my caste? Are you going to build a career out of that? No, right?
Yes.
So people need to understand that there is a boundary. Like before you getting so personal, timro mommy kaha ko, timro mommy ke gardacha, तिम्रो पापाले के गर्दैछ, that's none of your concern. Because even if I tell you my father's career tomorrow to you, you are no one to me. Is that going to make any difference to you or to me? No. So people find it very rude when I stop it right there. I said, I'm not answerable to that. You ask me something professional questions, probably I can answer you that. But if you're getting into personal, what my sister does, what my father does, you are no one to, I cannot answer you that. So people don't understand that, and people take it very personally, and that's not right. Why do you have to take it personally when it's none of your concern? Am I right?
Yes.
Right? Let's we are being friendly. We are working together. We are working in a very professional manner. Just because we are from the same town doesn't mean that you need to know everything about my family and I need to know everything about your family. Not necessary. Come on. You are here to work. You are here to build your career. Focus on your career. Don't focus on what my sister does, what my auntie does, what my family does, what my caste is. That should not be bothered. right? So people do not understand that. So I think over a period of time, even in the schools, people need to, I mean, the teachers actually need to tell them, matlab, educate them about being professional and being personal. What is the difference between two? I know. So I'm very professional, and I do not really entertain anybody in my personal life, even if it's friends. Matlab, even if I'm meeting any, or what do you say, like a colleagues or whosoever I meet, I never share my personal information because that's doesn't. It's not my thing, and I always create a boundary just right there. And some people takes it, some people don't take it, but that's not of my concern because I'm here to build my career. My focus is on my career, so it is what it is. So that's what, like, most of the youngsters needs to know ki there is a difference between personal and professional, you know. And so that becomes a that will become actually a huge change to our youth, mostly kinabane people, not only youth, let's not talk about only youth, people from our generations also really do not know the difference between those things. And I have always there are so many of the so many people who works with us, and they think that ki asking personal things is becoming friendly. But I am, when I'm working with you, I do not want to be friends with you. Like we can be a nice colleagues. So people need to differentiate between the colleagues and a friend. A friend is something which you've been there from your childhood, from your school, from your college. That can be a friend because those days you didn't have your professional boundaries, you didn't have your responsibilities then because you were getting paid to study. Your parents were paying you to study, and that's when you used to make friends, right? Those were your friends. But now you are into an adulthood, and you have joined to grow in your life in terms of your career wise. Then you cannot make friends, and they are not going to be your friends forever. The friends forever is going to be the friends who are there from your school days and your college. So yeah, now what happens is, like, when we are working together, I know. So it's like, oh hi, how are you? We pally, and few things changes over a period of time when we are there working for a very longer period of time. But still, there is a thing called professional and personal, because which we do not most of us do not understand that. And here I'm just trying to clear things up that ki, you cannot ask anything you feel it's right. There are something, that's why there is given a name called personal and professional. Am I right? So professional ma timile mostly you talk about career, you talk about work, how can we grow together, what are the things we need to work on, how do we work on to run this company, how do we handle the staff, how do we do this business, right? These are the things that you talk between among your colleagues. But I will not talk about your, what's your wife doing tonight, what's your kids doing. Matlab, it can be a casual talk, but some of the people like me including, I would not appreciate that. Ki, these are the things I want to keep it aside because that's none of your concern, because those are the thing that my wealth is helping to build my personal life good, right? But professionally is like something which we can work on together and help our company, or in the team we are working together, can help us grow. So yeah, these are the most of the things that people needs to be aware of.
जुन चाहिँ कुरामा तपाईँले अहिले पर्सनल र प्रोफेसनलको कुरा गर्नुभयो, आज हामीले यो पडकास्टमा एउटा यो दिस बिकम्स अ भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट टपिक बिकज दिस इफ यु लर्न दिस थिङ रिगार्डिङ द पर्सनल एन्ड प्रोफेसनल स्टफ, दिस विल अलवेज टेक अस टु द हायर लेभल एन्ड दिस विल अलवेज टेक अस हायर लेभल, स्पेसली इन द प्रोफेसनल फिल्डमा जब पनि हामी काम गर्छौँ त्यति बेलाको टाइममा हामीले जहिले पनि यो सानसानो कुरालाई याद गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ र त्यही कुरालाई आज हामीले मजाले बुझ्यौँ है नि. अब नेक्स्ट क्वेसन आइएम जस्ट मुभिङ है. जब तपाईँले बिजनेस स्टार्ट गर्नुभयो त्यहाँदेखिको पछाडि अब अलवेज वेन एभर वी सी अन्टरप्रेनरसिप एज अ भेरी ग्ल्यामरस स्टफ है. अब जहिले पनि हामीले दामी दामी कुरा मात्रै देख्छौँ, अलवेज वी अलवेज सी सक्सेस मात्रै होइन. तर अब देयर इज अलवेज स्ट्रगल बिहाइन्ड इट. अन्त त्यही बारेमा चाहिँ डिस्कस गर्नु पऱ्यो भने रिगार्डिङ तपाईँको जुन चाहिँ एज एन अन्टरप्रेनर तपाईँले सबभन्दा अब भनौँ न विच वान वाज द लाइक द मोस्ट
Challenging.
the most challenging period for you?
So, so like when I first started my career as an entrepreneur first, that was after I left my Jetaways, and I had a zero knowledge about how to run a company, and I was under the proprietorship. I was running my restaurant, and I really didn't know how to run the show. So over a period of time, then I understood that uh, के भन्छ, to run the show, you really need to understand business. To become an entrepreneur, you cannot just become an entrepreneur just because you have money. You really need to have a good knowledge about it, which I was pretty naive, not knowing it, because I was in a wake of like thinking that, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, I can do whatever I want to. So I was in that situation then. But after when COVID hit, then it became a little challenging for me. Before COVID, I got into Masterchef. So how I got into Masterchef is because I had a huge challenge in terms of staff managing. I know, though I was coming from the background of Jetaways where there were a lot of employees under HR team, and so many things we have seen it during Jetaways. So I thought that I could handle it, but like practically managing was becoming more challenging, staff managing especially. Then people were like, staff were just coming and going because they were just looking for money. They were not joining the restaurant for their career growth. They were just there to earn money. So over a period of time when the staff was changing, so people started judging at my restaurant, saying that my food was not that great. But over that period of time, I was already in the learning process of cooking everything. I used to love cooking. But I never wanted to get into the professional kitchen because I'm not professionally trained to be a kitchen chef. But changing every third month, the chefs are changing. But I'm still trying to learn and learn and learn. But the menu was decided by me. Then, over a period of time, I was kind of a chef and the entrepreneur at the same time. But people were still believing in they used to look into the kitchen and they're just like, oh, the staff is not good, the staff is changing, the food is also changing. So people have that judgment, if you know it. Uh, but at the end of the day, you would understand it's the person who's cooking. It's not about the look of the person. मान्छेले पुरा जज गर्छ, ए स्टाफ चेन्ज भएछ, ए खाना मिठो हुँदैन यिनीहरूको भनेर. सो स्पेसली इन द सिटी what happened was my people were from my place. So you get to see, okay, these are the people from the northeast. So people will consider us as a northeastern only. So northeastern people are there. So suddenly I switched it to Bihari people. All of a sudden. So I switched to Bihari people because over a period of time I understood that people from these regions are not interested in their career growth. They are just there for money. So people, the customers used to come to my place, and what they used to say, oh, they are cooking good food. So when they are going back home, they used to call them, okay, I'll give you another extra 1,000 rupees. So next day, all the stuffs are gone. So I was into the situation ki every time the staffs are going. So I really didn't understand why the staffs are going. Then over a period of time, I understood that people were giving them extra 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees, and they were just going just for 1,500 rupees. They did not care about their career. For them, what matters is the money. So then I started changing the staff. But then I decided I have to do something about this situation. So then I decided, okay, fine, let me try something where people would know me as a chef. And I decided to get into Masterchef. But I was not so sure. So one friend of mine told me, why don't you try in Masterchef, because I've eaten your food and I really know that you cook well. But I told him that I'm not a great cook. I just cook normal fried rice, buteko baat, and khao chowmin momo. That's the only thing I can make it, right? I'm not great in plated food, making plated food. Um, but I decided, okay, fair enough. Why not give it a shot? So he told me, okay, let's do the formalities, give me your videos and all that. And then I gave my video, and that he said that production. He told me to give me the introduction about myself. So when I gave him the introductions, he told me that like production house loved it. You just really need to know how to cook well. So I decided, okay, fine. And now I have to study like to do a fine dine plating, so Masterchef cooking type, right? Then I started going. I went for an interview. So when I went for an interview, there was like 1,000 of people in Kolkata. There were like literally 1,000 of people sitting there, and I was the only one. And everybody is looking at me because I was not dressed for that not dressed for the audition, because everybody was like this. Like I was like dressed like, because I love to dress up, and I didn't understand that there was a dressing up for के भन्छ audition को लागि पनि you have to become like very jatta types हुन्छ नि अब. You have to look like you really need this. You cannot look like you are coming from something else. So that became a situation. Everybody started looking at me and judging me, and I was like, when you can see that judgment over me, I become nervous. What to do? Then somehow I got through, and it's a huge story again. MasterChef Ko. It was like a funniest story I've ever come across. If I ever tell you that, some of them were so dressed. Some of them were like wearing ghagra. Some of them were wearing dhoti and kurta with the lanterns on the light. Oh, and guess what? I took it for my audition first. Shafale with salad. Mine was like in the plate, shafale like in my version. Okay, so basic shafale ma ke huncha bhandakari just a fried momo ko keema ra roti lai you got fry garcha. So what I decided to do is like I laid with cheese, two varieties of egg, a fried chicken, the keema. Then I rolled it, then I cut it into shape, and I made it look like a pie. Okay. Like a fried, like an apple pie types ma, dekhne ma, majale decorate kara. Then I put some salads, and I was there with small plate, and one girl comes with a ghakra with a huge 100 dishes together. हुन्छ नि अब walking at the आफ्नो प्लेटमा हेर्छु तिनीहरूको डिसहरू कोही आउँछ ल्यान्टर्नमा खाना फोकस गरेर हो like I don't know how tasty was it, and I really didn't know. तर त्यो देखेर चाहिँ अब I was already nervous. Then how I overcame with my nervous is there was a guy on the side. It was a joke. Suddenly I looked at him, and I felt relief. So why I felt relief was there was one plate, there was 2 cucumber and 1 gajar, 1 carrot. So 2 cucumber were eyes, 1 carrot was nose, and 1 palav was smiley. Masterchef, okay. So I asked him, what is that? He said, that is palav and this is salad. Oh, I don't know how to react on that. It's like, oh, wow, so great, nice. Then I felt a little confident. Okay, these are the people also there for interview and audition, they were there. So I went there, then asked me questions, and I told them why I made this. Then over a period of time, there were like almost 10 to 15 cameras looking at you when they were interviewing you. Audition ko time ma. First time only. But I was pretty much familiar with the camera, so I was okay with it. And like that, I got into the final auditions, and that also I cleared. Until 5th, I reached. Somehow I reached. I was called back for wildcard entry also. So there was so much thing that happened. Then after I came back, it was almost like 2 to 3 months. When I came back, my restaurant was already going down. Already down. Now I have to put it back to where it was, right? So now I've got the title. I've made the standees of myself. Masterchef code logo, apron. I have put my standees. Now I have to encash it. So by that time I started encashing it. I started making cakes, and I started pulling out the crowd. People started coming, and people started noticing me so much that even if I'm walking in the road, it's like, hey, Mahendra, let's take a selfie. Everywhere I go, people are just running towards me and are taking selfies. And I was like, it was a kind of a shock moment. It's like, I was feeling shy at the same time. I'm not that celebrity. People will run for me. But just after 2 weeks after I came back from MasterChef, and I started encashing my talent. COVID hit. Okay, and I didn't know. Okay, I was still focused in my career. Already, I've heard about my staff were talking about COVID. I did not take it seriously because I was focused in how to get back to track. And suddenly, uh, government announced that
Lockdown.
lockdown. Mali, what? Bhanyo? Then after that, I called my staff. Nobody's picking up. Then I went down and I checked it. All of my staffs are gone in overnight, and my restaurant is closed. And then I just started after I came back from MasterChef. So I opened a fine dine sections where I could give them a kind of a fine dine of our own local cuisines. भनेर चाहिँ एउटा loan लिएर I took a loan and I opened like good 500 to 600 square feet को. I invested in that. बुझ्यौ? COVID hit भयो. I really didn't know. And then all of a sudden, everything went down, everything shut down. And overall, I was in the room with my dog alone, shut for a week. And I didn't know what to do. And after 1 week or 2 weeks, I think at least they were ease out ki you can do groceries and all. So I kind of did the groceries and everything. I went back and then the bank started calling me. My restaurant is shut and I have to like pay back whatever I've taken it. You know? Whatever I've taken it. And that became a challenging for me, started from then. And then after 1 month, I think government again told us that you are allowed to do takeout. You are allowed to do deliveries, takeaways. Yeah. On the now I don't have a staff and my banks are calling me and I have so much of loans to pay back. And I decided, okay, dependency from there to I went to zero. So I said, I am the man of myself. I have to do everything by myself. But how do I do it? Where do I start with? So I did not give up. I decided, okay, I'll do it by myself. So I used to, now I cannot drive also because you are not allowed to drive. So my restaurant was here and my house was there. So if I go via main road, it's easier to 5 minutes you can drive down. But if I have to go from the walking way, you have to enter the slum area and you have to walk towards the restaurant. So as soon as I enter that slum area, it's all COVID affected area. And it was the initial phase. Like, you know how COVID was then, right? People were so scared of COVID. And I had to like walk past via that COVID infected area. Everywhere was blocked. Bleaching powder was everywhere. They were not allowed to come out because that's a COVID affected area. You can just only walk. And I used to go in the morning 9 o'clock and I used to come back in the evening 10 o'clock after I finished my deliveries. So I used to do it. I did it for good 3 months, all alone by myself, by washing dishes. And I used to do the deliveries in a day of like 20,000. So probably that would be like an order of 30, 40 orders. But the items were more. But that became so much challenging because people used to love my food then. And the delivery boys were all in the room. Same time. So that became a huge challenging. And it went for 3 months. And the worst was the rental was so high. Rental was already so high. And I'm making in a week business. In a monthly, I was doing a business of 60,000 probably all by myself. But the rental is triple than that. Now, owner is calling me, they are not even giving me concession because of the COVID. So there's like, no, you have to pay the rent and all. And at the same time, bank is also calling me, challenging. Saddest part was when a bank blocked my card, all the cards. Now, how do I function my business? I just like, damn, I don't know how to do. So I had to so whenever the Swiggy and Zomato used to release the payment, I had to literally used to run and get the money. I used to wait for they used to credit because I know that the bank is gonna
block it,
take the money out. As soon as the funding comes, the bank used to block it because obviously that I had to pay their overheads, right? So this were the scenes that I used to run to the ATM and I used to withdraw the cash so I could run the show. But over a period of time, what happened was I met with a huge accident. So I was just doing kind of a video shoot where I was making some of the dishes and I was showing them. It was so hot that a huge glass fell on my head and I met with a huge accident. Then over a period of time, I was hospitalized for a few days, all alone. So, and the worst is like, I'm like bleeding from everywhere. I had to drive down because I was asking for help. Nobody is helping me because people were scared of COVID. Nobody wanted to contact with, like nobody wanted to help. And the cities, like people do not want to help so much, right? I drove down all by myself to the hospital, driving the car, and I'm bleeding throughout. I was sending a selfie, clicking a selfies, and as soon as I went there, the doctors were also like, everybody. It's a COVID time, the initial phase of COVID. Then I got hospitalized. They did not even do my stitches because they wanted to check if I have COVID or not, and COVID took 24 hours. So by that time, the stitches already got, blood was already dried, and they could not do the what do you call it, the stitches. Over a period of time, I understood that I have to go back home. So I had a choice whether I have to go back home. If I go back home, I don't have work here. What will I do at home here? Back in my hometown, there is nothing I can do. So either I have to go to the cities where I are fully functioning, where I can do something and I can pay back my overheads and I can do something for my career. My mom and dads were calling me home, but I cannot because I had so much of overheads. Now I cannot ask my family to pay my overheads because that is me being irresponsible. Am I right?
Yes.
It's easy. You tell your parents, "Ki I need some of lump sum money because I need to pay back this amount." But my mom and dad has worked equally hard for that money. Why would I ask them to pay them just because it's an easy way out, right? So I decided I will not come back home. I'm gonna go either to Mumbai or Bangalore, and I'll rebuild my career, and I have to pay my overheads. So my mom were like, I don't know what you're thinking, what you're doing. And I didn't know anyone in Bangalore. Worst. I had only one friend from Kurseong. So I cross-checked with him. He said, you can come and stay here with me. So when I went to Bangalore, I drove down to Bangalore with my dog. Now, dog was not allowed. I gave away my dog. I lost everything what I had in Chennai. I had to sell it off to my owner so they can pay off the rent because the deposits were all over. And then I went to Bangalore with 0 penny.
So it was really
0 penny. I was like, damn. I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna start with? I was in a depression. I'm not lying. I was in a career depression for good 3 to 4 months. It was bad because I didn't know, I cannot go back to where I used to work before. I don't know how to start my new career because I don't know anybody. I have lost my restaurant, whatever I have had. That became a huge challenging, and I didn't know where to do. But the only thing that was in my head, it was like a hope. I can do it. I think I can do it. I can make it happen. So slowly, I started making contacts. Now, what happened, the best part was, initially, if I would have started, probably I didn't have experience. But now I don't have penny, but I have a lot of experience. So I decided, why not encash your title, encash your experience, and let's make use of it. So thank God I have a good friend who gave me a shelter for a few months, and I made use of it so much that it took me 2 years to pay back my overheads. And after 2 years, and it was not only like 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, it's just like huge. Like it was crossing almost to 20 lakhs that I had to pay my overheads. And then when after 2 years, when I cleared my overheads and I decided to do something again back, because that 2 years I decided I will not open my restaurant anymore. I decided I'll work as a partnership with something. I'll do something else, but I will not open a restaurant. But this time, in that amount of 2 years, what I did was I studied business. I went in and I decided to understand how does the business function, how does the restaurant business function, and I studied a lot. And this time when I opened with a lot of experience. And it took me 3 years. 2020 it started. 2022 September, almost like 2 years, 8 months down the line, we opened a new company and a private limited company. Then under the private limited company, we decided to do a private limited company because we wanted more brands in it. And that's when this was an experiment brand to see. So let's do a Bao Bangalore, where name is only Bao Bangalore, but I'm serving my own Himalayan cuisine food with more of Masterchef influence to it. So like we have aloo thukpa, but we don't call it aloo thukpa. We call it as a Nepalese spicy noodles. So it's easier for people to understand. So these are the kind of things I understood. I started understanding business, like targeting the crowds, like a local crowds, targeting a younger audience, targeting older audience. So when I started studying business for a good 1 year, I understood a lot of things that I haven't done it before. And now here I am, like after a huge struggle of like good 2 and 3 years, and now the business is going good. So far so good, and we are working on it. There are a lot of people who has asked for our franchises, but we are not giving it yet because we are still working on it. We are not that overconfident कि चलो आज बन गया तो दे डालो franchisee में, we can earn money. We are not in that phase. We are still struggling, and struggle is still there because we have a lot to learn, because this is just after I've like hit a rock bottom. I literally hit a rock bottom. Now this is the first step of my career now. Now I have a lot to do.
So your story was really inspiring किनभने हामीले अन्टरप्रेन्योरसिपलाई जहिले पनि हामीले बिजनेसलाई एक साइडबाट मात्रै हेरेको हुन्छ. सबैजनाले सोच्छ कि बिजनेस गर्नेहरूले धेरै पैसा कमाउँछन् भनेर मात्रै. बट द another side of the coin is like this only, because every single day, every new struggle. अनि कोभिडको टाइममा जुन चाहिँ प्रब्लम आएको थियो, that one was like really, it really created a havoc for all of the business fraternity. तर त्यस बेलामा पनि what you faced was really a rock bottom. अनि but it was inspiring because many of them gave up during COVID. Many of them gave up, but you again started those things, again rebuilding everything, making it a big stuff. This is really inspiring. अनि यही कुरामा like अब like regarding this MasterChef also, if cooking was not your passion but it happened because of the business itself, because you were running है. अनि MasterChef को बारेमा अझै पनि like I would like you to like elaborate कि उनीहरूको प्रोग्राम कस्तो हुँदो रहेछ, अनि ब्याक अफ द स्टेजमा के हुँदो रहेछ, त्यो कुराहरू अलिकति सेयर गरिदिनु भयो भने if somebody wants to go to MasterChef also, even they can see.
Yeah, but before that start, I wanted to tell something कि people when it comes to your career, I will always look for my comfort first, right? But when that time comes, you have to give away your comfort. That's the one point that if you really want to grow in life, if you really wanted to achieve your goals, because people always thinks that easy way around being comfort. It is really not that. You really need to give away your comfort. So basically, I'll tell you, my basic need as an entrepreneur was I need a car, I need a good house. At least when I come back home, I really need a good house to sleep, and then I can work. But when the rock bottom hit, that comfort is not there, right? Yes. How can you pay your car EMI? Who is going to pay for your petrol? Who's going to pay all that rent? But you have that comfort life, but you have to sacrifice that. So people do not want to sacrifice that easily. So you really need to sacrifice if you really want to achieve your goal. And secondly, we as an entrepreneur, we do not have offs. I have not taken a single off from back in 2019. This is like because of my brother's marriage. I think this is the 10 days in after 4 years, I'm taking a 10 days of leisure. But still, after we come back home, we're still in the computer working. We're still working. So there is no off. First of all, you have to sacrifice that. You do not have time to sleep. Your minimum time of sleep is like hardly 6 hours. 6 hours is a leisure. Yeah. You have to sacrifice that. You have to work. Every day you get up. I get up with a coffee I sit in the laptop. And because my another profession is a chef, post 12 o'clock, my company starts. Thank God I have a staff to do the production. I go to the kitchen. And by the time I come back, it's another 12 hours, which is 12 to 12. It's 12 hours. So by 12 o'clock, I come back home. I sit with my partner. I sip a coffee. Then again in the morning, 3 o'clock, we are still working. So when you want to become an entrepreneur, when you want to become a successful entrepreneur in life, you really need to sacrifice everything. No family time, no festivals, no birthday parties, nothing. The only thing you can celebrate is your, what do you say, the anniversary of the company. That's just for a while. So people think that I'm having a lot of leisure just because I'm uploading a 10-second stories, or I'm uploading 15 seconds or 30 seconds of reel. That's just like a 30 seconds of like hardly or 10 minutes of your leisure you are showing. But that's not truth. So people get carried away seeing your Instagram profile mostly. And they see like, they look at me, okay? They call me as an inspiration. They call me so many things. They want to work with me. I have a tons of CV. I have literally a tons of CV in my profile DMs. But when it comes to the reality, people want to do just the upper job, just do the plating. That's not the job, dude. I cannot give you just like what I have achieved it. Just like, let's talk about photography, or in my field is about cooking. So mine is mostly the plating, which actually the final product. So people only focus on the final product and they want to do the final product. But in order to do that final product, I have worked my 17 years of my ass to do the 17 years of, I've sacrificed the 17 years of my life to do this final product. You've just graduated. You're just like 18 years old, dude. You really need to peel that onion first. You really need to clean that dishes first. You really need to know. Am I right?
Yes.
Because you cannot directly come to the final product and you say that I want to work this one. Nobody will give you. Nobody will ever will give you just like, let's talk about the photography. You need to know everything from the scratch, right? You cannot just to come back and I want to do the editing part. Nobody will give you the editing, but you don't even know how does it function, right? So every field has this kind of things that people need to understand. Okay, final product is not the solutions. The people who is doing the final product has come all the way, sacrificed so many years, and today they are there. So the young, mostly people who pass out, whether it's IIHM, hotel management, whatever field, they just want to call themselves. Let me tell you, people who does the photography, do they have a school for photography also now?
Nowadays, yeah.
They do have, right?
Yes.
Like for hotel management, they do have. So you cannot call yourself a photographer just because you have passed out your photography school. Am I right?
Yes.
You need to earn that respect to be a photographer. You need to earn that thing to be called as a chef. I could not call myself as a chef until I've got and opened a restaurant. I've worked so hard. It took me 17 years of my life to call me as a chef. But Abhi, if you see it, in everyone is a chef. It's not only becoming a chef, it's not only just about cooking. It's about taking care of your staff. Taking all the responsibilities in your name. Customers are blaming you. Am I right? You are to be blamed for everything. Your staff salary, your staff accommodations, taking care of the staff, taking care of the business, understanding if the business is profitable or not, because my food is the thing which will help out the business to grow. If your business is not profitable, how can you call as a chef? Because you're not giving me a food which is more profitable. This is like a basic example. So people really need to understand before they call themselves whatever the hierarchy is, like whether it's a chef, photographer, or doctor. Everyone is becoming every day now. Like everyone is a chef. Yeah. So that becomes little sad that, the title doesn't just come like that. And now, I think I was talking about the...
Yes, regarding the Masterchef.
Masterchef now, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to join as a Masterchef, it's just like you really need. It's not only about cooking first. Let me tell you one thing. You need to have you really need to have a camera presence. That's the first. Chalo maan lo ki I know cooking very well, but my camera presence is zero. When you're switching the TV, I'll tell you one thing. When you're switching a reel or a TV, You see a one person is speaking deadly, like doesn't have a life in it. मैं खाना बना रहा था, मैं जा रहा था. Will you see that? Or it's like, oh, I was cooking. This was that interesting. That you need to have that camera presence, right? But you are good in cooking, but you have a zero camera presence. You'll be out. On the first audition itself, you'll be out because there are 10 cameras and you are not able to speak what you are cooking, what you have given it to the judges. You're not able to talk out. Nobody will take you, right? So yeah, camera presence is the first priority. Second things is the cooking. That's the second priority. And third, you really need to know about the food. It's not only about cooking again, same thukpa chowmin. It's about knowing the ingredients very well. What are your Himalayan ingredients? Like we have our ingredients like rook tomato and tree tomatoes, raiko sags, churpi, kinema. There are so many things, right? You really need to encash that. You really need to know the Himalayan ingredients that your roots. So basically what the judges look at you, it's like you know your roots, you should know your roots very well. Because everybody wants to become a continental chef. Everybody wants to become a tandoori chef. Everybody wants to become like all fancy, Mexican, Italian chef, but nobody is focusing on your roots, traditional cuisines. So I decided to look into the traditional cooking because I was born and brought up eating this food. I would definitely encash this food. I do not want to become an Italian chef. I do not want to cook pasta. I would rather cook labar liver. I would rather cook aloo tukpa because that's my roots. But people, everybody wants to cook sushi. Everybody wants to cook kere. I don't even know the names. Tacos, but I think if you start encashing your Himalayan cuisine and like how the Italians did, am I right? Italians narco pasta today, the continental things are so high. It's because they themselves if you talk to Italian chef, you will never see any Italian cooking Indian food. Will you even eat Italian cooking Indian food?
Yes.
No, right?
No.
It's the belief because you believe into the Italian chef. That's why you eat, and you believe the Indian chef. That's why you cook. I'm saying that you believe in the Indian chef. That's why you eat Indian food. So like that, there has to be somebody from our region to encash these cuisines and convert in such a way that people would love it.
Yeah.
Am I right? So that's what I'm doing it. So I've decided to encash this food in such a way that people would love it and our Himalayan regions would stand out more. But I would never gonna switch to any other cuisines at all. I would rather go to the villages of everything. Today, this time, when I came back here, I learned a new recipe called wachipa. And I know that I'm going to encash that. But I mean, it is a thing for me. And people would love it outside what is wachipa? Like, it's a thing, So people should focus on their traditional roots and probably that can help them to get into the Masterchef journey.
Since these things are in our blood itself, in our
culture, they will look into that.
Yes.
They will look at you like they will not ask you to cook fancy stuff. They will ask you to cook your traditional stuff and make it fancy as much as you can. And they would love that more. Trust me, you already have your camera presence plus one. Secondly, you are converting your traditional cooking into a fine dine plating. Trust me, you are a win to the judges, even if you do not win the Masterchef. You're winning the judges. And that's what people need to focus on. So know your ingredients, Himalayan ingredients very well. Do not neglect them. Hey, ningro ko khancha yo, dhero ko khancha garib ko khana. No, come on, yeah. Dhero is a thing. If I do a dhero go outside and I do it, people are gonna love it. Sisnu ko.
With jol.
Sisnu ko jol hai na? Sisnu ko jol, right? Sisnu ko jol and dhero. Trust me, I'm gonna do it. It's there, and I think people should stop saying ki yo garib ko khana, yo dhani ko khana. There is no such thing that exists. Trust me. Gundruk ko jol. Isto ko khancha, kinema ko khancha. That's what we are born and brought up eating it, right? Eating these foods. And there is no such thing called ki yo dhani ko khana is khana. It's just gonna fill your stomach. So stop putting that name ki yo garib ko khana, yo dhani ko khana. There is no such thing. Trust me. After I entered the food industry, like Achi yesto khanda रहेछ यसले त एउटा ढेरो खाने that's a, you know that right that's a thing right I mean we were born and brought up seeing this but I think people should stop doing that food is food at the end of the day trust me when I entered that and I went to outside and when I started giving all this food or only people started appreciating a lot and I loved it more because if I do that here I know I will not be appreciated
Yeah.
I will not be appreciated at all, but I know where I get appreciation. So I decided I will do that. Who appreciates it? So, and I decided to do it. So focus on your ingredients, focus on your cuisines. Give, even if you're going to Masterchef, give deros. Dero assist no kacha, you give it. Trust me, they will love it more. But present it in such a way that it's eye-pleasing. First of all, it has to be प्लेटिङमा जब तिमीले ध्यान राख्छौ प्लेटिङ गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ यु निड टु फोकस अन योर इट हेज टु बी लाइक यो फुड सुड के भन्छ सुड बी सो प्लिजिङ द्याट यु क्यान इट विथ आई बुझ्दैछ तिमीले देख्दाखेरि आँखाबाटै खानु मनपर्ने अब तिमीले टिभीमा हेर्छौ डु यु एक्चुअली इट No, right? But you feel that because you are looking at it, right? And secondly, now then comes the taste. Now I'm actually seeing the food now. Now I can taste it. It has to be as good as you are presenting it. So try to respect your food.
Yeah, even like if you have our cultural ingredients, then that is what we know more. अर्को कुरा के हुन्छ भने जब हामीले हाम्रै कल्चरलाई बाहिर लाँदैछौँ भने या त्यो हाम्रै कल्चरलाई हामीले कुनै अर्को जग्गामा लाँदैछौँ भने द पिपल विल बी इन्ट्रेस्टेड टु ट्राई द्याट वान एन्ड द्याट इज वाट यु आर एक्चुली डुइङ अन्त दिस पार्ट वाज रियली इन्ट्रेस्टिङ बिकज हामीले हाम्रै खानालाई रेस्पेक्ट गर्नुपर्छ हाम्रो कल्चरलाई रेस्पेक्ट गर्नुपर्छ हाम्रो इन्ग्रिडियन्ट्सहरूलाई रेस्पेक्ट गर्नुपर्छ भनेर जुन चाहिँ कुरा आज हामीले तपाईँकोबाट बुझ्यौँ दिस इज रियली इम्पोर्टेन्ट बिकज वी अलवेज सी द्याट एभ्रिथिङ इज फ्रम आउटसाइड बाहिरको दामी हुन्छ भने हामी जहिले पनि सोच्छौँ बट एट लास्ट वाट ह्यापन्स इज द्याट वाट आवर रुट्स आर द्याट इज वाट इज अ ब्युटिफुल थिङ अब तपाईँको जुन चाहिँ नाउ वी आर जस्ट कमिङ डाउन टु लाइक टु द एन्डिङ पार्ट सो यसमा चाहिँ हामीले के देख्यौँ भने बिइङ एज एन एम्प्लोइ इन अ कल सेन्टर टु बिकमिङ अ मास्टर सेफ टु रनिङ अ होल अफ द बिजनेस नो this one was like whole of the roller coaster ride this way and lots of ups and downs is what we learned ani from this whole of the story from becoming from a call center guy to running a whole restaurant life has taught you so many things so in a crux if you want to tell like let's say in 5 or 6 points so what exactly you have learned from all these experiences
that focus on what you want to do and there would be a lot of circumstances that would come in between. The only thing I would say is please do not give up. The time you give up is the time you cannot achieve your goal, but you are more consistent toward your goal and you are taking that step at a time and being patient is one of the most important factor. If you do not have patience that's something that you're going to go down for sure. But if you have patience, let the time decide on that, but work hard as much as you can, then you can achieve your goal. But if you do not work hard, trust me, there's no
way out.
No way of achieving goals. Like you may feel that, okay, I've achieved my goals, but that's not, because even if you're achieving goals, you still again have another goals to achieve. So it's never ending. You're just going and I'm still working and I'm still struggling and I'm still learning. So it's not that I'm still here. This is like the first step I've taken. Imagine after 17 years of my life, this is like the first step of my career. Again, I'm growing again back, right? So you have to be consistent, persistent about your job, what you're doing. The focus is the most important factor, I would say. Do not give up.
So that is what we should learn is किनभने जब तपाईँको स्टोरी जब हामीले सुन्दै थियौँ यो स्टोरिजको बारेमा कि स्पेसली वेन इट केम टु लाइक पर्सनल एन्ड प्रोफेसनल पार्ट द्याट वान वाज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट टपिक वाट वी हेड टच टुडे है किनभने यो कुराहरूलाई चाहिँ हाम्रो जेनेरेसनलाई बुझाउनु हाम्रो दोज आर कमिङ अप टु दिस करियर यो कुराहरूलाई बुझ्नुको लागि एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट कुरा थियो अन्त अर्को जुन चाहिँ कुरा तपाईँले भन्नुभयो आज कि इभन इफ यु हिट रक बटम अल्सो यु सुड अलवेज किप मुभिङ किनभने नेपोलियन हिलले एउटा जग्गामा भन्नुभएको छ कि वान अफ द स्टोरी लाइक इफ जति हामी काम गर्दै जान्छौँ इफ वी हिट अ रक बटम लास्ट पोइन्टमा गयो भने पनि वी सुड किप मुभिङ किनभने एट लास्ट पोइन्ट जुन चाहिँ पोइन्टमा हामी टच गर्छौँ त्यहाँदेखिको उता अब अझै नराम्रो हुने केही जग्गै छैन भने इभेन्चुअली इट ह्याज टु ग्रो अप भन्छ नि है। अनि सेम कुरा चाहिँ आज तपाईँको स्टोरीबाट पनि हामीले त्यही कुरा थाहा पायौँ है। अनि जुन चाहिँ तपाईँले मेसेज दिनुभयो रिगार्डिङ फोकस पर्सिस्टेन्ट एन्ड हार्डवर्क, अहिलेको जेनेरेसनमा के हुन्छ भने इट्स अलवेज अबाउट सर्टकट्स एन्ड सर्टकट्सलाई पनि आजकल त के भन्छ भने स्मार्ट वर्क भनिन्छ नि धेरै जग्गामा। अनि स्मार्ट वर्ड जुन चाहिँ स्मार्ट वर्कको चाहिँ धेरै जग्गामा वर्ड्सलाई मिसयुज गरिएको हुन्छ। अब देख्दाखेरि कतिवटा जग्गालाई हामीले त्यसलाई मिसकोड गरेर स्मार्ट वर्क भन्छौँ बट द्याट इज इक्वल टु चिटिङ आवर सेल्फ। किनभने कुनै पनि कुरा हामीले स्मार्ट वर्कको वेमा हामीले हेर्दै गरेको हुन्छौँ, काम गर्ने ट्राई गर्छौँ, तर what we miss is the experience, learning, these things we miss on that part. त्यही कारण चाहिँ त्यो स्मार्ट वर्कको जुन चाहिँ एउटा डेफिनेसन छ इभन द्याट सुड बी नट बी मिसयुज जस्तो लाग्छ। अनि अब हामी अलमोस्ट एन्डमा आउँदाखेरि तपाईँलाई हामीले लाइक यु नो टु अल आवर लिसनर्स स्पेसली आवर जति पनि अब हाम्रो युथहरू आउनुहुँदैछ है, उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ रिगार्डिङ करियर, रिगार्डिङ यर लाइफ, what message do you want to give as a concluding message to them?
I think I would say again ki smart work you can do once you get all the experience, but working hard is something that you can be appreciated for your lifetime. Because you work hard, then you work smart. You cannot work smart from the beginning because you do not even have an experience of how to work smarter, right? Yeah. So first work hard for a period of time. You have to work hard because then only you will be able to work smarter. Timorma experiences haina bhane, हैन? So try to work hard as much as you can, then work smarter, and that can help you achieve your goals much more faster way that you are thinking. For me, it's like you keep yourself a target that I will give myself a target, not 1 month or 2 months, at least 5 years, 10 years down the line, I want to be something else. But in that target of like 10 years, give yourself a 5 years of hard work and 5 years of smart work. So combine in both. By the end, when you would reach what you have targeted for. तिमीले जे तिमीले गोललाई टार्गेट गरेको छ त्यो अचिभ गर्न सक्छौ, तर त्यसको लागि तिमीले पहिला चाहिँ हार्ड वर्क गर्नु नै पर्छ. You really need to work hard to achieve your goals first. That's what I can say. But people have their own theories and myths. But for me, I think after 17 years down the line, what I have realized out of experience, working hard has helped me a lot to work more smarter.
Yeah,
and that's what I wanted to convey all the people. Ki do not think that working smarter is the easy way out. You have to work hard first. Then only you'll understand how to work smart.
So दर्शकवृन्द, आज हामीले हाम्रा महेन्द्र सिंह थुलुङज्यूलाई सुनिरहेको छौँ र सुनिरहेको थियौँ र उहाँकोबाट आज हामीले धेरैवटा कुरा सिक्न सक्यौँ, धेरैवटा कुरा। त्यसलाई म समराइज गर्न चाहन्छु। यसमा हामीले के कुरा सिक्यौँ भने सबभन्दा फर्स्ट कुरा, जब पनि हामीले केही काम गर्छौँ करियरको बारेमा, करियर इज नट जस्ट अबाउट वान प्रोफेसन। हामीले लाइफमा धेरैवटा जग्गामा धेरैवटा चिज ट्विस्ट एन्ड टर्न्सहरू हुन्छ, कम्फर्ट लेभलदेखिको हामी बाहिर जानुपर्ने हुन्छ र त्यति बेला हामीले धेरैवटा कुरा नयाँ सिक्छौँ र द्याट्स हाउ वी बिल्ड आवर करियर। सेकेन्ड थिङ इज द्याट वी सुड अलवेज फोकस अन समथिङ। कुनै पनि काम गर्नुको लागि हामीले हाम्रो फोकस अनि हाम्रो हार्डवर्क एकदमै जरुरी पर्छ। विदाउट द्याट वी क्यान नट अचिभ एनिथिङ। थर्ड थिङ वाट वी लर्न इज द्याट there should always be something called personal relation and professional relationship. र हामीले हाम्रो करियरमा अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ भने, हाम्रो करियरलाई स्ट्रङ बनाउनुपर्छ भने हाम्रो प्रोफेसनलिजमलाई अझ राम्रो बनाएर जानुपर्छ। प्रोफेसनलिजमको एकदमै सिम्पल वेमा भन्नुपर्ने हो भने कुनै पनि काम जब हामी गर्छौँ त्यो कामलाई हामीले एज अ वर्क हेर्नुपर्छ, न कि त्यसको वरिपरि अरू बायसेसहरू, चाहे त्यो फ्यामिली होस्, चाहे कल्चर होस्, चाहे कास्ट होस्, कुनै पनि कुरालाई साइडमा राखेर जब हामीले हाम्रो वर्कमाथि, टिम वर्कमाथि हामी फोकस गर्छौँ, द्याट इज वाट वी सुड स्टार्ट लर्निङ, कि अरू कुनै पनि कुराले बायस नहोस्। अनि अर्को एउटा राम्रो कुरा चाहिँ के भन्नुभएको छ भने, जुन चाहिँ हाम्रो एउटा जग्गामा सेयिङ्स पनि छ कि जब माइकल ज्याक्सन र हामीलाई राख्यौँ भने कसले राम्रो डान्स गर्छ भन्दाखेरि हाम्रोमा हामीले जहिले पनि सोच्छौँ कि माइकल ज्याक्सनले सबभन्दा दामी डान्स गर्नुहुन्छ भनेर, तर हामीले एक प्रकारले हेऱ्यौँ भने माइकल ज्याक्सनभन्दा हामी अझै राम्रो पनि गर्न सक्छौँ। किनभने माइकल ज्याक्सनले डम्फु बजाएर नाच्नु सक्नुहुँदैन। माइकल ज्याक्सनले मुन वक गर्नुहुन्छ, हि इज गुड अन हिज पार्ट, तर जब हामीले हाम्रो डम्फुलाई लिएर हामी तामाङ सेलोमा नाच्छौँ, हाम्रो मारुनीमा नाच्छौँ, ती नाचहरू माइकल ज्याक्सनले गर्न सक्नुहुँदैन। वाट इट मिन्स द्याट कि हाम्रो रुट्सहरू, हाम्रो कल्चर, हाम्रो संस्कृति, हाम्रो इन्ग्रिडियन्ट्स, यी सबै कुरालाई हामीले कहिले पनि बिर्सिनु हुँदैन भन्ने आज उहाँकोबाट सुन्यौँ। द पर्सन हु इज नट जस्ट सेयिङ बाई अ थियोरी, उहाँले आफ्नो लाइफ यो कुराहरूमा दिनुभएको छ। उहाँले आफ्नो एउटा होल बिजनेस यो चिजमा खडा गर्नुभएको छ र त्यो एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट मेसेज हो आजको लागि, हाम्रो स्पेसली हाम्रो युथको लागि, हाम्रो जति पनि जेनेरेसन जसले सोच्छौँ कि हाम्रो बाहिरको चिजहरू राम्रो हुन्छ भनेर, तर हाम्रो आफ्नो रुट्सलाई जति नै माथि हामी उडे भने पनि हामीलाई एट लास्ट इट कम्स टु रुट्स, र हाम्रो रुट्सलाई हामीले कहिले पनि बिर्सिनुहुन्न भन्ने हामीले आज बुझ्यौँ। र आज हामी द आर्टल्यान्ड पडकास्टको हाम्रो जति टिम हुनुहुन्छ उहाँको तर्फबाट हाम्रो आजको गेस्ट महेन्द्र सिंह थुलुङज्यूलाई हामी धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौँ। उहाँले आफ्नो समय दिनुभयो। उहाँ भोलि आज हाम्रो यो रेकर्डिङ गरेर भोलि फेरि उहाँ आफ्नो कर्मक्षेत्रतर्फ जानुहुनेछ र हामीसँग फेरि पनि धेरैवटा नयाँ इन्सपिरेसनल कुराहरू हामीसँग जोडिनुहुनेछ। उहाँको इन्स्टाग्राम फलो गर्नुहोला, उहाँको फेसबुक पेजेसहरूलाई फलो गर्नुहोला। अनि किनभने त्यो फलो चाहिँ किन गर्नु भनेको भने उहाँको त्यो स्टोरिजलाई हेर्नु होइन, बट त्यो चिजबाट हामीले त्यो उहाँको त्यो एउटा इन्स्टाग्रामबाट हामीले धेरै कुरा सिक्न सक्छौँ। दो स्ट्रगल नदेखौँला अरे त्यो जग्गामा, तर हामीले धेरैवटा नयाँ कुरा सिक्न सक्छौँ, नयाँ पर्सपेक्टिभ देख्न सक्छौँ। यी सबै कुरालाई हामीले सधैँ आत्मसात गर्दै हामी फेरि पनि हाम्रा महेन्द्र सिंह थुलुङज्यूलाई हामी धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौँ। र हाम्रो आजको यो जुन चाहिँ संवाद श्रृङ्खला बातचितको जुन चाहिँ यो हाम्रो श्रृङ्खला छ, यसलाई हामी यहीँ अन्त गर्दै हामी तपाईँहरूबाट बिदा दिन चाहन्छौँ। नमस्कार, धन्यवाद। सो तपाईँलाई आजको हाम्रो यो संवाद श्रृङ्खला पडकास्ट राम्रो लाग्यो भने, जति पनि हाम्रो अहिलेसम्म गरिरहेको यो हाम्रो सानो कार्यलाई तपाईँलाई एकदमै राम्रो लागेको छ भने काइन्डली हाम्रो युट्युब अनि इन्स्टाग्राम साथसाथै फेसबुकका जति पनि पेजेसहरू छ हाम्रो, त्यसलाई लाइक गरिदिनु होला अनि युट्युबमा सब्सक्राइब गरिदिनु होला। किनभने तपाईँहरूको एउटा लाइक र एउटा सब्सक्राइबले नै हामीलाई अलिकति भए पनि एक्स्ट्रा ऊर्जा मिल्छ, हामीलाई एक्स्ट्रा इन्सपिरेसन आउँछ कि अझै हामीले राम्रो अतिथिहरूलाई आमन्त्रण गर्न चाहन्छौँ, अझै राम्रो पडकास्टहरू तपाईँ समक्ष लिन चाहन्छौँ। सो त्यसले गर्दाखेरि काइन्डली लाइक अनि सब्सक्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला।